Hello everybody, and welcome back to Car Mechanic Simulator 18. How are we all doing today? Welcome along, Blake. How are you doing today? I have something a bit more fun for us today. We are going to be restoring two cars. First one here is an American classic. This is let's get the proper details up. This is a 1965 Ford Mustang with an inline-6 overhead valve engine that will produce 177 horsepower and 352 newton meters of torque at 2,445 RPM. Cannot complain with that. Nice car indeed. Definitely a classic. The other one over here is a Nissan Skyline R34. And it is it's a GTR as well. Can't complain at that. 179 horsepower and 203 newton meters of torque. Personally, one of my favourite cars. So, these are our two cars to do up. This one's got what kind of engine does this have? This has an inline-6 engine. The other one's got an inline-6 as well. Yep, both inline-6s, as you can see. This one's only got half an engine. You found some mods for FS17. That's awesome, Blake. I will be streaming FS17 Shamrock Valley later on today, in fact. But I wanted to get this stream out, and you know, I kind of basically I just kind of felt like playing a bit of Car Mechanic Simulator for a little while. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to move the cars on to the lifters. We've got the Skyline on lifter 1, the Mustang on lifter 3. I could have put them next to each other, it would have made my life a lot easier. But, you know. Are you on Discord yet, Blake? If you are, that's the best place to share mods with me. I have a dedicated area of Discord for talking about farming simulator mods and things like that. So let's actually just start taking the bodywork off this Mustang. Take the doors, make sure the windows are all out. We'll rip the interior out too. Make the bumper and everything off it. Oh, we've got a window here. And let's remove the interior as well. Awesome stuff. I always push the wrong button there. So there's one Mustang torn down bodywork wise anyway. Let's do the same thing over to the Skyline. We'll tear the bodywork off of it. Now it has an extra bit of bodywork here with the engine cover, just to make it look a bit more like it's actually it doesn't really have much in the way of bodywork, does it? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to completely replace absolutely everything. So we're going to sell all our parts that are below 100%. Get rid of all of them. And what I'd like to do is we're going to lift both cars, take the drivetrains off them so that we can pull the engine out of. We'll probably do the Mustang first. Now let's have a look here. What do we have here? The drive shaft doesn't even fit. That drive shaft doesn't reach the rear diff. Fair enough. Or prop shaft if you prefer. Let's take the gearbox off too. Just like that. We'll disassemble the clutch too. Hi there, Massey Power, how are you doing today? What are you going to surprise her with there, Blake? What do you have in mind? Congratulations, Massey, on 500 subscribers. There is a link to Massey Power Lee's YouTube page in the description of this video if you're watching over on YouTube. Feel free to check that out. It produces loads of high quality content. I got a notification, but it doesn't tell me what it is. I don't know what the notification is. Let's... Commander route is now following. Welcome along. I'm having issues with my with some areas of my overlay not working properly. But yeah, welcome along. Hopefully I'm going to get those fixed. I don't actually know what's causing it. My like for example, my viewer counter's not working properly. I was going to have a look at the Skyline. It's much more flat underneath. Basically doing the same thing. That's a complicated setup on the rear suspension there. It's going to be fun to rebuild. Let's take this gearbox off too. Clutch release bearings kind of protruding slightly there. But that's fine. As just like the other one, we will disassemble everything. I will be streaming, well, it depends on what time we finish this one. I think at the latest I'll start a stream is 9 PM UK time for Farming Simulator. I don't know why I don't get any of Vicky's messages in the chat. And now my computer is just being a pain. My my other computer is being a pain. I see your messages on one screen but not on the other, Vicky. I don't know what's going on today. My support and laptop's completely packed in now. It's not letting me click on anything. Kinda typical. Alright, let's pull an engine out. Let's move the equipment over to lifter 3 and let's pull out the Mustang engine. And we'll add it here. There is what's left of the Mustang engine anyway. What we'll do is we'll move this over to lifter 1 ready for the Skyline. We pull out all the auxiliary pieces here. Take the battery out too. There we go, one completely empty engine bay there. Let's work on this engine. Let's see what's left on it. Absolutely nothing by the looks of it. Fair enough. It was almost pointless taking that out. Again, let's sell everything. I will see you in a bit, Blake. Thanks for coming along. You're saving up for a 1050 Ti 4GB. That's what I'm currently running. It's a card I've never had a problem with, so I'm quite happy with it. Right, we need an inline 6B block. Let's go engine. I6. There's the block. We're gonna need the head, the cover, exhaust manifold, front exhaust section. Let's see what we can get. Looks like a lot of it is listed for us, which makes life a lot easier. Valve push rod. I'll get 6 to start with because I'm not sure if it's 6 valve or 7. Oh, not a problem there, Blake. Sorry about that. I don't see any of Vicky's messages for some reason. I get a fuel pump as well. Crankshaft. Carburetor. Camshaft. Cam gear. Air filter base, air filter and cover. Alternator and alternator arms. Let's see how much of this engine we can get together. Not much by the looks of it. So that will get the power steering pump on. It's already looking a bit more like an engine. The water pump on as well. I like this older style engine. Still need an ignition coil. We do have the fuel pump, we can put that on. This is of course the engine for the Mustang that we're working on just now. Yeah, I can get the timing chain on already. Get the other arm on over here. That holds the alternator. Get that timing cover on. Seems a bit premature to be doing this kind of thing, but there you go. There's quite a few other parts we need to get, but what we need to do is rotate the engine. So we're going to need to get in here and see what we need. Obviously we need 6 pistons and 1, 2, 3, 5 bearing caps. Fair enough. Now let's see. It's the crankshaft bearing cap we need. There are, we need 5 of them. What else do we need here? We need the engine pulley for the V8, or the crankshaft pulley for the V8, should I say. We'll probably need a fuel filter, I expect. We need an ignition coil B, a distributor. We're going to need some clip Bs for this. We need 2 of them for the dizzy cap. We've got all of that. Okay, so we need 6 pistons, 6 piston rings. Actually, that's not the right piston rings, those are. That's 8. No, that's 5. I'll get there in the end. We need rod caps, we need 6 of those too. We need a water pump pulley. Now let's see how we can get on with this. Start putting these bearing caps in first. Seems like a sensible choice. strange to think we're going to have one complete engine very soon. There's not much left to do on this engine, believe it or not. Put the piston rings with the con rod and put the rod cap on the bottom. And just work our way back with this one. Now, for those of you who are enjoying this game, I have a mini series coming out of it in the next couple of days where I fully restore a Plymouth Fury. I've separated it into 4 short episodes. I think the longest of the episodes is 20 minutes. And I restore it from junkyard back up to 100% on every part, which was a very fun process. There we go, one oil pan on. This engine is very blue. Alright, let's work on the front of the engine again. Maybe zoomed way in there. Let's put the belt on. And the other belt. It's making me dizzy looking at it like this. I'm gonna rotate the engine back round. Let's see. Let's put the distributor together. We're still going to need spark plugs and things. So how's everyone's weekend been so far? Hopefully it's been a good one for everyone. Yeah, I'm going to need more of these push rods. That's kind of inevitable. I also need some rocker arms as well. And it looks like I'm going to need a fan too. Oh. The computer's now telling me I have an update to do. That doesn't sound like something I'd enjoy to do. You were born in Nottingham, lived in Birmingham, and now in I don't know how to say that place name. I, for a little while in my youth, lived in Nottingham, or very near to Nottingham. My sister lived in Nottingham. I used to live in Derby for a little while. I need rocker arms. Spark plugs, we need 6 spark plugs, that's the other thing we needed. Rocker arms. If only we could get the set, 12 of them. I don't know which fan we need, so I'm going to say fan B. Might not be right though. I used to play 2015. I still have the Car Mechanic Simulator 2015. It's a more stable game than 18. There's a lot less bugs in it, but I just like 18 because it has a bit more depth to it and the graphics are slightly better. I haven't put the piston rings in. That's not something you got in 15, unfortunately. But it was definitely a more stable game. I guess it kinda counts, Josie. Cheltenham. I don't think I've been there. I don't think I have anyway. Well, this is a very tedious process, but at least we're not doing a V8. I tell you, one car that I do miss from CMS 15 is the mulch. I loved working on that little car. Okay, let's get the exhaust manifold on too. Intake manifold. Very compact engine. Get that fuel filter on before I forget. You'll probably be familiar with engines very similar to this then, Josie. It seems like an older style American engine. We'll do the clutch assembly in car, but there we go. We've got one complete engine. I'm quite happy about that. That didn't take very long at all, actually. And before we get too carried away, we need to lift the car and rebuild this whole front end on it. So we'll start taking this side apart. Get that wheel bearing out too. This thing's not had its brakes done in a while. I can sometimes find this game very frustrating because before I did YouTube, I was a mechanic, and some things are just wrong. Very wrong. If only it was this easy to restore cars. If it was this easy to restore cars, I'd still be a mechanic. I just have better camera angles if I was still doing it in real life. Proper Mustang wheels. I have to make sure we get the right wheels again. My biggest frustration with this game is you never get a seized bolt or a bolt that's been rounded, or you know, none of the real life things that happen. I mean, a car this rusty would not come apart this easy. I'd be spending this amount of time still trying to get the first bolt off standing there with a blowtorch. Well, actually it's me, I'd probably get annoyed at it and be hitting it with a hammer by now. Let's get these rubber bushings out. Front suspension cross member E. Let's before we do that, let's clear our inventory. Like so. You just want to show your bolt drilling skills. I actually tend not to drill bolts out because it's kind of slow. It's not the easiest way to do it. I prefer to use heat. Right, we're going to need 2 front springs, 2 front shock absorber caps. It's going to be 2 of these. Actually, no, it's not. Maybe the double wishbone shock absorbers. Two bottom suspension arms, 2 front axle covers. This is a rear wheel drive car, so we don't need to worry about anything too crazy. I think it was steer and knuckle C's. I'm going to get both sway bars because I cannot remember which one it is. You need 2 inner tie rods. 2 outer tie rods. What else do we need here? Rubber bushing. We are going to need a serious amount of these. That's true. I'm surprised I don't have flat thumbs. Steering rack. I think it was front end link B. I'll get 2 front end link A's anyway, just because. 2 upper suspension arms, 2 wheel bearings, 2 hub caps. Now, let's reassemble this. It's actually relatively easy to put these things back together. Providing that you can actually get a good angle to click on the right component. Front sway bar B. Turns out I was wrong. I was right about the steering knuckles though. I don't know why it's got me so zoomed in. Let's get the upper suspension arm done too. I don't have any of the braking system, I haven't put the suspension together or anything like that, so nor do I have the wheels, but I can get a good chunk of this stuff kind of put together for now. Let's see if we can inch our way across the other side. Zoom out quite a bit excessive. I don't love Mustangs that much that I want to rub my face in them. Am I not right in thinking, Josie, that you actually had a 1965 Mustang? Just to make us all extremely jealous of you. Suspension together by the brake system and get the wheels sorted as well. Technically we are ready to put the engine back in at that. Let's where's the spring compressor? It is here. Let's assemble those. And let's have a look. What wheels do we have? 215. Probably better writing this down. 215 65 R15, and it's Mustang Mach 1. Let's take this spring and get the other one going. Now let's get the brakes first. I'd be surprised if it was actually ventilated discs on a Mach 1 Mustang. Am I right in saying that you had one of these Mustangs, Josie? Let's buy some rims. Got another alert box pop up there, just need to wait and see what it is. I'm in the wrong page. I should be in. Actually, it should be there. Princess Mantha is now following. Awesome stuff. I'm not seeing the rim. modern rims. No, I'm not seeing them. Let's... Let's see here. I have quite a few Mustang mods. I don't think there's any rims in here though. No, there's not. That's unfortunate. Fully restored. Wow, that's slightly better than the condition ours is in then. Let's see. Rim Mustang Mach 1. Well, what I'm actually going to do then is I'm going to try and actually restore these rims. Try and restore them. Let's check the repair bench. There's one restored. Okay, let's buy some tires for it. Got a bit of a choice of tires. It was retro tires or vintage tires that were on it. These vintage tires here. Which I think we'll go for. We'll get two of them. And they were 215.65. £230 on tires. That's actually quite expensive for two tires. We'll get this all put together so that we can completely assemble the front end of the car. We'll get that wheel on the balancer while we put the other one together. It's the little things that I like the fact that you can you have to balance the wheels. I like that. Alright, we'll let that carry on for now. We'll start reassembling things here. There's the suspension in. Put the brake caliper and piston together and then bolt that onto the whole system as well. And we can put the rim on this side. Oh, they're looking a lot better. Chunky though. Right, we are going to need that other tire though. There's a safety tip. Walk underneath your lifter. Let's get this spring on before I forget, because I almost didn't think about it there. One caliper. It might not seem it just now, but this car is actually very close to being finished. The whole front end suspension's been done. We have the rear suspension to do. The engine's done. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to fix the bodywork just now. Push a button and it's repaired, look at that. If only. I like how the engine bay is black. Let's move this equipment over to lifter 1, we'll keep it over there for now. That's the toolbox. The other thing I'm going to do is this stuff. Let's use it, clean the interior. Not that there's much from the interior, but it does make it look a bit better. cleans it out a bit, gives it a bit of a hoover and things. We should have left this, in fact, I'll pull that engine out, and then we'll move the equipment over to lifter C. I need my engine back, please. Because you know I can just put it in my pocket. And now we can move this back over to lifter 1. Look at that. That's looking quite nice indeed. Before we get any further, let's fill the oil until it starts spewing out the top. It's the best tactic. Can never have too much oil in an engine. In Car Mechanic Simulator. Never fill your engines like that in real life, please. What are we missing here? We need a brake servo, battery, and radiator C. That's not bad. Back to here, we want brakes. We want a brake servo. We want a battery. And we want a radiator C. Awesome stuff. No ABS in this one. That's the way it should be. There we go, that's the engine bay done. In theory, this car should start now. The exhaust isn't all there, I'm saying that the fuel tank, but in theory, it should be able to start. Another fuel pump here. Alright, let's get the rear end taken apart. It's a bit easier. That is a rusty wheel hub. Loads of U-bolts for this. Who doesn't love the old leaf spring setup? It's only a suspension setup that they literally had on horses and carts. And still used today. You know, innovation and all that. Got another alert box away to pop up there. It's a little bit delayed, but I will give a shout out to it. Game Guy Elite is now following. Welcome along. Thanks for following. There we go, one rear end completely disassembled. Now, this is a fairly easy setup. Need 2 of those, 4 of those, 2 of those, 1 of them. I think it was B. I think it was B for the knuckle housing. And I think it was rear shock absorber B as well. Small rubber bushing, we'll get 4 of them, and we'll get 4 of the large ones as well. I can't remember which one it was. Wheel hub 4, I think. 2 solid rear drive axles. I think that's it all. I think. Get the rear brakes sorted as well. Before we reassemble that, we'll get the tyres sorted. Rotten, how are you doing tonight? Yeah, I wouldn't recommend buying a car from me. Saying that, I do have a car for sale if anyone's interested. How's your weekend going there, Rotten? We don't want any of that. This is what we want. Okay, we don't want to do that. We're not fixing those parts. Let's see, where's the other rim? There it is. Let me see what size those tires were. Are they the same as the front? 21565 15 they were. We've got the vintage tires, 2 of them. 215 width. 6.5. Awesome stuff. Look, wow, looking forward to the dentist. It really must be bad, actually. I don't even think the dentist looks forward to going to the dentist. That's odd. Oh, right, okay. I separated the tyre I just put on. It takes about 4 of us, because we need to have tea first. Make some funny noises and then invoice you before we actually touch the light bulb. And it also takes us 6 weeks because, you know, we have to also rewire the entire house. Because that's what caused your problem. It might not be bad now, but it will be soon. That's actually pretty true, to be honest. Saying that, it was always my apprentice's job to go and get the parts so that I could actually fix the cars. It was like a yo-yo back and forth to the parts depots. Mustang's coming along quite nicely though. Skyline on the other hand, that's looking a bit worse for wear. Alright, let's get this car put back together. We still have the exhaust to put together, as well as fuel tank and that kind of thing. That's not completely untrue either there, Rotten. It'll also take them 3 weeks to get the job done. And by the time they do get the job done, they'll have also, you know, refitted the kitchen and the bathroom and loads of other things to fix, because, you know, they were almost broken. It had to be done, or it wouldn't have gone through a home inspection. And when you get your invoice, you'll also be charged for things that they didn't do. So that's how mechanics make their money. Even though there is a ridiculously high markup on car parts. Most people don't actually realise how cheap mechanics get car parts for, and then they charge them RRP for them. And you're still having to pay £40 to £60 an hour labour. Illegal con men, if you ask me. I can get away with saying that because I was one. Oh, I only got one brake disc. Brake drum. Knew there was something I was forgetting. Can't let the car down by having just this random scabby brake drum on the back. I like those rims actually, they're quite nice rims. Now let's see. Exhaust, we need rear muffler, middle muffler, and I think I have one of those. Yeah. Front exhaust pipe, C, V8 overhead valve C. You need two of these apparently, don't know why. Two middle mufflers. I also need a fuel tank and another fuel pump, even though there's already a fuel pump in the engine, but you know. Still got to put the gearbox together as well. In fact, we'll do that first. Clutch pressure plate, drive shaft, release bearing, and flywheel. We're also going to need a gearbox for an inline 6B. And a starter motor, actually. Help if I can spell. I don't know which one it is. Say it's not the V8 one. Just a guess. Pressure plate. One release bearing. Fair sized gearbox, to be honest. No starter, oh there is. Accessed from the engine bay, fair enough. We'll just ignore that little gap between the end of the drive shaft and the rear axle. This car's obviously a mod and it's going to have little quirky bits like that. There we go. Now we just need to lower the car and put the starter motor on and then put a seat in it. Yes, to pretend shop at the auto parts store. Wow. To be honest, I thought I'd done enough actual shopping at the auto parts store. Okay. It was a bit oddly specific that, you know, I couldn't put it in from there. Now, let's just go ahead and finish the Mustang completely, actually. We need to get an interior for it. Okay. Maybe. Maybe get an interior for it. Let's try... Oh, we've got loads of parts to choose from. Just no interior. Okay. Guess we're not putting in the original interior. Let's see if we can find some nice. Seat M3 Bandit. What steer mode do we put in? I think steering wheel 6. I think that's an alright steering wheel to put in. We need M3 seats that are not brown. I guess we could put these in. Not going to be a perfect match to the car, but you know, they have a slightly modern touch. Yeah, steering wheel works alright. It's slightly big. I would be there all the time if there was if there was more money. I don't think I would do much else. I would probably just move in. I'd have to start paying them rent. Let's get the bodywork put together. We'll start with yeah, we'll get some windows. What are these for? Get the front windows too. What front bumper should we get? I quite like the look of this one. Maybe we keep it standard. Yeah, I think we should just keep it standard. Apart from the tinted windows, obviously. Yeah, we'll get that window because it's got wipers on it. We'll make an exception to this, the whole standard arrangement with for the whole standard arrangement with the headlights, because I like the darker headlights personally. But a spoiler though. An even bigger spoiler. No, we'll just get the little spoiler. We'll make it look a little bit sporty. It's to go up against a Skyline, so we've got to make it look a little bit nice. What is that all about? I don't like that. vents. Let's take those out and we'll put in the normal windows. Yeah. Normal tinted windows, of course, but I think that. Oh, no. That one doesn't even fit. That one does though, that's not too bad. Yeah, it's coming along. The only other thing we need now is number plates. A jumper cable goes. A jumper cable goes into a bar and asks for a drink. Bartender says, "I'll serve you, but you better not start anything." Okay. Fair enough. So, Josie, what number plate should we have? We can get a Georgia number plate. Oh, what have I done? I've broken things now. Norway, Portugal, Rhode Island, Spain, Sweden, a standard one. Texas truck, yes, we're going for a Texas truck one. Oh, you want a Georgia one? That's fine. What should we put in the number plate? Because we can have a custom number plate or we can keep it standard. Let's see, we could always put in we can't. Slow Joe. There we go. I opted for a private one because you had one of these, so you're getting a custom number plate. Slow Joe. What is this? Ooh, we missed parts of the car. They'll be the exhaust tips, I presume. Be these things. That's the one I got. I need that one. A couple of chrome exhaust tips. Oh, no. Don't want to move the car. Look at that. 4 exhausts, because why not? That'll power bulge on the bonnet as well. For a fast car, it's questionable how fast it is, let's be honest. Let's have a look at the car status. Global body condition is at 95%, what have I missed? Front window, forgot to put the windscreen in. There we go, now we need to paint it. So let's move it into the spray booth. That's a door and a half, Jesus. What colour should we paint it, Josie? You have the choice of colours. You can pick whatever colour you want and I'll try and make it as close as I can. I feel like we could have got away with slightly bigger wheels in the back. There's a bit of arch gap. Arch gap is not cool. Acma Marine. Let's see. Ooh, chrome. Did we put racing stripes on it? Acma Marine, that's going to be a... That's a little bit too green. Yes, for stripes. So let's put on some... I think because we got the spoiler, I think black stripes would work best. Go with gunmetal. Gunmetal stripes. Don't know if I can... was there a gunmetal stripes? I don't think there was. Are you happy with that colour blue? I can always paint it again after, but there it is. Let's see if we can make it actually look a little bit nicer, maybe. It doesn't suit matte. Ooh, but doesn't that look kinda nice in chrome? Kind of more of a pale blue, really. I think it needs a bit more green in it. That's a bit too much green. Needs to be a bit darker. Yes, I think that looks not too bad. Love it in the chrome. That's settled in. Right, let's go back to the garage. And we will move the car over to garage entrance A. You can see the engine hanging at the bottom. looks a bit dark in the garage, but once we get it outside, it'll be quite cool. Right, let's start her up. Oh, that's a nice little rumble. I can't rev it up in the garage, obviously, but... nice indeed. Now, let's get to work on the Skyline. We already have the engine out, so yeah, it's not much of that one either, is there? This one has pistons, I think, though. Maybe not. No, it didn't. Fair enough. Let's sell all of these parts, we don't need them anymore. We will work on that engine a bit later. Let's start doing the bodywork so it's not looking so rusty. Now, don't worry about the colour, and I think this is a decal that's on it. I hope that's a decal that's on it. In fact, I'll move it into the paint booth and see if it is a decal. Because if it's not, that's going to be kind of annoying. Yeah, okay. It was just a decal. That's much better. Let's move it back on to lifter 1. It's not going to stay purple, in case you're wondering. I just wanted the decal off it. This one does have ABS. That's all that's got in the engine bay. Look, it's floating. Accessible from the engine bay, that's questionable. We're making a few changes to the rims on this car because they're not car specific ones like the Mustang had. It's a completely different setup, this car. It's 4-wheel drive for a start. And it's not got the double wishbone suspension setup either. But it's not in any better condition than the Mustang was in. See the Mustang under the lifter there, that's quite a nice thing to see in the background. Cable ties are OEM, let's be honest, Jody. In some cases they're better than the trash that they use as OEM fixers, fasteners I should say. Fixers, well. I think what I'll do is I'll tear this car down completely and then rebuild all the suspension at once, front and back, with the exception of the wheels and tyres. We'll do them a little bit later on, but we'll get all the suspension torn out, replaced, rather than doing it in stages like we did the Mustang. Look at this setup for the rear axle. This is not horse and cart technology. This is import technology. Where do you even start? Oh, there's a rear sway bar on this car. We're going to need thousands of rubber bushes. Thousands of them. Hey, let's hide them. So if you have just come along the stream, welcome along, come and say hello. Let your voice be heard. Tell me what you think of the Mustang that we've already restored, sitting over at the door there. Lovely chrome, it's effectively green, let's be honest. But either way, it's looking absolutely awesome down there. That's the muscle car part of this tuner versus muscle build off, if you will. We're now working on an R34 Skyline GTR. Starting in the disassembly stages of it. I've already got the engine out. Neither of these cars can get an engine swap. So the engines that they come with as standard are the ones going back in them. The Mustang's already up and running. It's already drivable. And the Skyline, on the other hand, is pretty far from it. Because there's only a battery in it now. Looks kind of weird, it only being a battery. But if you're enjoying this stream, hit that like button if you're watching over on YouTube, and if you're watching on Twitch, come and say hello. And consider hitting that follow button as well. And if you're interested in watching these live streams in the future, feel free to hit that subscribe button if you're on YouTube. You can also hit the bell icon and you'll be notified about all my live streams in the future. I will be live streaming again today later on. I'll be playing Farming Simulator later on. But first of all, we have a rather oddly purple Skyline to completely rebuild. Let's buy ourselves some parts. I can't remember what parts we needed, to be honest. Yeah, I know it was shock absorber A, I think. 2 front springs, 2 spring caps. Got loads and loads and loads of things to buy for this car. And I did not go to the effort of taking note of what they were. We've got our basics. We know we're going to need a steering rack and all the parts that go along with that. Rubber bushing. Let's go ahead and buy, I'm going to say 20 to start with. Believe it or not, we may actually need more than that. There's some small rubber bushes as well. 1 steering rack. And let's get to work back on the car. See if we can figure out what some of these parts are. In fact, before we do that, let's get the suspension put together. Any second now, there we go. No, 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 no. Does take it a second. Let's go into assembly mode. So we need front sway bar, front cross member B. One front sway bar, one front cross member B, if you'd be ever so kind. Okay, these are rubber bushes put in. Let's see if I can make my way over to the other side. Get that steering rack put in. It totally doesn't just go straight through the middle of the engine. Just don't look at that part. Again, this car's a mod as well, it's not standard with the game. So there will be some quirky little details. Front steering knuckle A, we'll need 2 of those. Get the shock absorber put on. Front end link A and lower suspension arm. Where lower suspension arm will be down the bottom, but front end link A. Where is it? Need 2 of those. Where's that lower suspension arm? There it is. 2 of those as well, if you'd be ever so kind. This is why we need so many of those rubber bushes. Now let's see, front axle knuckle cover. We'll get the whole braking system as well. Two of those. Have a look at the brakes. We're going to need 2 ventilated discs, 2 pistons, 2 calipers, 2 sets of pads. Awesome. Don't have any front wheel hubs. Typical. There's going to be a lot of back and forth into the parts store. I need a wheel bearing, and we're going to need an axle as well, actually. Front drive axle H. Where would that be? Front drive axle H. We need 2 of them. Don't know why that's going in before the gearbox, but there you go. Ready for the wheel on that side. This is the same over here. We should have all the parts now. It's already coming together. The other shock absorber on there too. Nice and easy. I prefer it not zoom me in so much all the time though. I mean, I do like a Skyline, but I do not like them enough to be that close to them. Let's get the brake caliper together. And again, ready for the wheel. I do like the mods that have a bit of clipping through them. I mean, not so much this one with the steering rack and things, but how the suspension actually goes to the top. Now, let's see, we need rear suspension cross member. It'd be a big complicated looking thing. I think we need that as well, but we'll start with cross member. More rubber bushes. You can see why I bought 20 of them now. Rear sway bar B and knuckle housing A. 2 if you don't mind. We can get that small bush put in there. Alright, let's see, we need rear suspension upper arm, rear suspension arm A, and rear suspension arm. We need 2 rear suspension arms, 2 rear suspension arm A, and we're going to need 2 of these sway bar links. Was it upper arm? I'm sure it was lower arm. That one, and I need to double check now. I forgot. Rear suspension arm A, upper is the upper arm. Fair enough. Let's get this all buttoned up. I didn't get the spring cap or anything yet. Kind of a much more complicated setup, but I like it. Rear shock absorber A, which we don't have, and the whole spring setup. We need a rear spring cap, two shock absorbers, and 2 spring caps. Just like that. I got the wrong wheel hubs, or wheel housing. It kind of happens all the time, to be honest. Right, rear wheel hub. Forever in the shop. More wheel hub bearings. Two more of those, and we start getting the brakes. And the pads as well. The pads are kind of important. Rear drive axle. It's not a solid rear drive axle, it's just a rear drive axle. And onto the brakes. much left to do on this car either. Got an engine to build. We've got an interior to put in, exterior to put in, and a couple of little auxiliary pieces. But not much though. Oh, I only got one rear spring. Typical. There's another part missed as well, but I can't remember what it is now. Another spring cap. Oh, I missed a part over there. Rear suspension arm B. We need 2 rear suspension arm Bs. More rubber bushes. That should be that side fully finished now. Hopefully. Bearing in, the shaft in, that should be everything bar the wheel. Just get the fuel tank and that done. We're going to do something a little bit different with this car. We want to go to the tuning shop. To get our fuel pump. So add 1.5% to the power, and it looks a little bit nicer. So. Awesome stuff. Let's think about getting some wheels on this thing. Let's have a look at all the rims we've got available to us. None of these are looking particularly nice. None of them look that nice actually. Yeah. Size we want. Yeah, we'll have 18-inch. A slight offset on them. Let's get some tires for that as well, actually. And we want some race tires. We want 4 of them. 18-inch. Nothing wrong with a bit of lettering on your tires every now and again. Kind of rally style looking tires. It's a little bit different. Not sure it's the best choice we could have gone for, but not bad. Get one wheel in the balancer while we're doing the rest of the fitting the rest of the tires. I would have liked to have had these rims in maybe white or black, but what can you do? Let's go and see what they look like on the car. They're the same size, so they shouldn't be too bad. They're slightly wider though. I could have gone bigger. I could have gone bigger. That's a lot of arch gap. Let's get bigger rims. I don't want arch gap. There was rim classic 1 that they had on here as well. Apparently. Classic 6 wouldn't be terrible if it didn't have that big black bit in the middle. Let's go for these. 22-inch rims on it. That's what you want on your Skyline, you'd never take it out. I need to get tyres actually. Or 22-inch I think it was. Make them a bit wider. Lower profile as well. That's a bonus. Oh, they look much better. I think these are going to look a lot better on the car once it's finished. It's an expensive change to make, but let's balance that one. Let's sell these tyres. A lot of just general rubbish in here. Let's see what these ones look like. Put it on this side for comparison. That's better for arch gap. Then again, that's also going to make it ride really high. What do you guys think? What rim should we go for? Should we go for the 22s or should we go for the 18s? This is going to make it ride really high. Or do we go smaller? Do we maybe go for 16s? 17s or 16s and have it sitting low? That's always an option to us. I need to stop buying rims, is what I need to do. Spending a fortune on rims. Can't remember what size of tyre I got now. What size was that? 15s. That's way too much of a profile. .12-inch rims. No thanks. Good thing I don't actually have to worry about money for these. They don't look terrible, but it's gonna make it sit really high. And they're gonna leave a huge gap. put the bigger ones on it. We'll just see. Let's see, we need to get an engine on the go. I don't think we can get the block from here. Can't remember what engine it is. What engine is it? It's an inline 6. Inline 6. There it is. I'll have one of those. And what can we get for our inline 6? Not a lot by the looks of it. We got the fuel filter. We know we're going to need that. Couple of manifolds. An engine head. Don't think we need a carb on this inline 6. I'd be surprised if we do. We're gonna need a camshaft though. We don't need that over there. We need that over there. I expect it's just gonna be a standard air filter. Carbs. A load of carbs to choose from. Inline 4. Probably one of these fuel rods. I don't know which one it is yet. We're gonna need 6 pistons. Six plugs. Hopefully we can stick a turbo in this. That would make me happy if we can get a turbo. Don't have an oil filter yet. Don't have a water pump yet. We do have an alternator. It's got a shiny alternator on there. Nice chrome thing. Oh, we can put the fuel filter floating in midair up here too. I'm going to rotate the engine. So we have the internals to do on it first. Yeah, way ahead of ourselves here. Gonna get 5 of these. I don't know how many we need, but I'm gonna get 5. We are still gonna need some piston rings. Got a cam gear. Get the battery while we're here as well. Come back to the air filter later. Crankshaft pulley. Oil filter. Oil pan. Piston rings, we need 6 of these. Rod cap, we're going to need 6 of those. We'll come back to the belts later. Let's see, what else do we need? Timing chain. timing cover as well. Really like it if we could get a turbo on this. I want this to have a turbo. Let's put the crankshaft in first. Get all this bearing caps put in. Nice forged style pistons. Doesn't say that they're forged, but they have the look. And they add power, so you never know. It's just the best thing to do. Put your nice expensive aftermarket pistons on with cheap rod caps. Seems like the right thing to do. Another rod cap to do. One more piston as well. Put the oil pan on. One oil filter. Let's rotate the engine background. Let's see. One water pump. Water pump pulley. Aftermarket engine head. That's a bit of glare. We're going to need another. What are these? Really? Okay. Let's go and get ourselves some carburetors then, I guess. Surprising, but. Carburetor. That's the side draft. 2-barrel side draft, we need 3 of them. And we're going to need some cam rod clamps. Don't know what they're referred to as in this game, but caps. Camshaft caps. I'm going to say 12. May need more than that though. Not 100% sure there. These add a fair bit of power. This thing's gonna. It's going to be a fair bit of power in it. We have one car in our Muscle V tuner setup that is a stock muscle car with a few body tweaks. And we have one tuner car that is getting modified. It's getting all the aftermarket parts put on it. And the winner of what's better between muscle car and tuner car will be decided. Finally be decided with this live stream. We'll have the 2 of them next to each other and we'll finally decide which one's actually better. I need cam gear for an i6. I've got 3 of them, that's fine. I don't have the engine cover yet, but I need some plugs. I'll get the engine cover while I'm here actually. Engine head cover for an i6. Ah, that's really boring looking. Expensive though. Don't think I got the plugs. Can't remember. Nothing wrong with having spares. Looks like I did get them. Only a couple of 100 bolts to put this in. Look at that for a carburetor. Isn't that pretty? Both tuners and imports are both good choice of cars, but there is the long-standing rivalry between which one's better. I personally prefer tuners, import cars, over raw muscle, but I can't deny a muscle car like this old Mustang is just yeah. I'll not use words like that. It's pretty. Let's keep those wheels on the go. I don't see anything left to assemble on the bench here other than... In fact, there is. Timing sprocket for an i6. There's always more. Josie is a muscle car girl. I can't say you're wrong in that. Muscle cars make an ungodly sound, which I can't argue with. A proper muscle car rumbling down the road gets my attention quicker than anything else. I kind of missed loads of bits. Right, let's get the belts done first, I think. Let's see, we're looking for any i6 belt. i6. There we go. Now we've got the... We need clip B's again. The rumble gets me every time. I agree with that. I love the rumble of a proper muscle car engine, like a Hemi or something. It's really difficult to beat it. I like the performance of import cars, and that's my general preference. I like to go very fast, but I also like the sound that you get with a muscle car. So is that everything? I think it might be. Let's install it in the car. Where's... all my stuff's been put back. Let's see. And this can now be put away. Don't need that anymore. Let's see if I can get this battery put in. I've still got the ABS system to sort. There is no sports brakes, unfortunately, but that's fine. ABS module, ABS pump, and we also need a brake servo. Do the brake servo first, nice and easy. One ABS pump, and then the module on top. It's worth noting there's no power steering on this car. Radiator A. I'm going to touch that slider bar. It goes a bit nuts when you touch it. Also worth noting there's no turbo either, which is not like a GTR 34 at all. Radiator fan housing B. Now, I know we're going to need to get fans for this, but it doesn't tell me which ones. So let's just buy those two. Let's see if that works. Look at that. That's not a bad guess. Awesome stuff. Let's get this wheel off. We'll stick with the bigger rims. We'll see how it looks in the end. We may change them after, but for now we'll just take them as they are. Let's get this wheel put on. Again, not to my personal style. The size maybe, but not my style of rim. Get that one buttoned up as well. Nice and balanced. Yeah, this thing's going to sit like a monster truck. It's going to be sitting higher than the Mustang. Well, look at that for a rear end. Do like a rear end. Let's get the car lifted. We'll get the rest of the underside done, the exhaust, and things of that nature. Still need to get a drive shaft actually. Get the drive shaft first, I think, and a clutch release bearing. If we go to here and we go to gearbox, we can get that. And if we go here, we want an i6 4-wheel drive gearbox, if we can get it. Not sure if we can. It'd be a shame if we can. An i6B gearbox. We'll find out when it tells us to put one in. It's our new aftermarket flywheel that we for some reason don't need to put the bolts into. That's a pretty looking clutch. i4 rear-wheel drive gearbox. Fair enough. Kinda seems like a bit of a potato gearbox. i4 rear-wheel drive. I got the i4 four-wheel drive. Still seems like a bit of a potato gearbox. And we need a front exhaust section i6. We should be able to get aftermarket versions of that. Let's see. Of course we can. Yeah, nice chrome exhaust. It seems like that's the only part of the exhaust as well, which I am not complaining about. This is not a car you'd want to be quiet at all. A little bit of work to do in the engine bay. I was going to say that's not pants. A star more, that's what I was looking for. Does that come in their gearbox? No, it doesn't. See these nice chrome manifolds put together. It doesn't love a stainless steel exhaust. One starter more. Let's get some oil in this one. And again, in theory, this one should start now. Should start. Let's actually go ahead and move the car over to the other garage entrance for working on the rest of it. We need interior first. No spark or steering wheel? That's unacceptable. Let's get steering wheel 8. There's steering wheel M3 down there, but it's kind of a bit naff. Yeah, that very pretty. Seats wise. Get a couple of M3 seats. Go for a poo colour interior in this car. Ah, come on. Not bad. Goes well with the purple carpet. Look how high it's sitting though. That's a bit nuts. It actually is sitting higher than the Mustang. Okay, let's see if it starts up. It does, and ooh, that rumble. That's a not bad rumble. Right, let's get the bodywork put together. Ooh. Oh, indeed. Let's go for the engine cover B. Loads of parts. Loads of parts to choose from. Oh, if we can even put police sirens on it. Well, that might happen. Is there a bigger exhaust? Is that the biggest exhaust? Let's get these parts on first, see what they look like. Can't remember what other parts I got. Because we need a samurai sword as the gear shifter. That's not bad. Right, let's get the rest of the parts. We're going to want a carbon fibre bonnet. Let's start from the top actually. Back window, two other back windows, front windows. I think this is Hoonigan. Go for that one. A top secret body kit on it actually. Go for fender ease. Go for the standard lights on it. Badge delete. That's what we'll go for. Let's see how many parts we've got now. Not looking too bad for arch gap on the front. It does say Hoonigan on it. Oh, I didn't get a back bumper. At least I got all the windows though. Right, so I need a rear left fender, a rear bumper. Rear right fender. I think I went for C, I think. Going to get the diffusers on the back bumper because of course I am. Gotta have diffusers on the back bumper. It's that one I need. Is that the same as the other side? It is. Ooh, yes. The bumper doesn't really fit the rest of it. Let's take that back off actually. Let's get a bit more of a normal bumper on the back. Over this one. That's Nismo actually. In fact, we will get the Nismo one. Nismo's a good brand. Yeah, that's much better. More standard. Fits the body kit as well. RB26. An AE86 would be better, but you know, can't have everything. Now let's paint the car first. Now, given it's a Skyline, it's an R34 Skyline, actually it doesn't sit too high. Given it's an R34 Skyline, it kinda has to be blue. That's a nice colour, especially with the carbon fibre bonnet. The wheels don't really match, but get that for a colour. Now let's also move this car over to the dyno. Let's see what it does. Let's check its power. Stopped by a rubbish store. Are you sure you want to proceed with the dyno test? Yes. Right, the factory engine power is 179 horsepower and 203 Newton meters of torque. Let's see what it achieves now. Horsepower. That's quite a boost. 121 horsepower. 324 Newton meters of torque. Gained 67.78% horsepower and 60% on the torque. Bonus. Let's move the car back over to the garage door. Now, for those of you who are wondering, this is the two cars complete. Look at them side by side. How could anyone possibly choose between these? We still need a number plate for that car, actually. Need to get the number plate. It's the most important part of a car. Let's see if we can find a Colorado, Connecticut. Let's assemble these. That is a sexy car, apart from the wheels. Wheels suck, but this is also a sexy car. So guys, let me know in the chat, which one of these two cars would you rather have? Would you rather be cruising the streets in a lowered, high performance Nissan Skyline R34 GTR with a combination of Nismo and top secret body kits? Or would you rather cruise down the freeway in your 1965 Ford Mustang 350. I don't think it's actually a 350, but it's got 350 decals on it. Josie would rather have the Stang. Seeing them side by side like this is pretty cool. These cars have both turned out absolutely epic, but let's go and see what kind of power the Mustang has. We'll stick it in the dyno too. I'm not expecting any kind of gain or loss, but you never know. Now the GTR had 300 horsepower. Let's see what the Stang's got. Gain or loss whatsoever. It is sitting there at exactly the same as expected. Let's move the car back over to the garage doors and let's see which one's worth more. So our GTR is worth $82,800, not bad. But the Mustang is worth $52,800. Again, not bad at all. Personally, I think the Mustang and the GTR should have their prices swapped. But there you go, two completely done cars. Should we take them for a test drive? What do you think? Should we drive one or both? I think we should, just so we can hear the engine tone, we can rev them up and things. Let's go down to where is it? The abandoned airport. We'll take the Mustang first because we've it's been a little while since we've been in it, so we'll take the Mustang first. Let's hear that pure American Detroit muscle. Once we get past all these loading screens, this game is certainly not a quick one at loading. Oh, there it is, in all its glory. Beautiful, beautiful car. Before we drive it, I have a couple of notifications sitting up on my desktop that I'm going to get rid of because they're in the way. Now, oh, that's a nice sound. Not the best for wheel spinning. It's not the quickest thing in the world, is it? We're gonna run out of airport before we max out, I think. Ah, you can kinda get a burnout out of it. Very stable car, I'll give it that. It's just not very quick. It does seem massively underpowered actually. May go back at some point and modify this. Put all the aftermarket parts on it. it just won't wheel spin. You have to go a bit before it will wheel spin. Now, let's return to the garage. We'll jump in the Skyline, see how it does. I'm expecting it to be a lot more exciting because it has a lot more power and four-wheel drive. Let's see if we can do an all-wheel power slide. Now, the driving mechanics in this game suck something awful. Very unrealistic. It would be more fitted to a boat simulator than a car simulator, but still, it'll be fun. We'll see what we can get done. Once we get past this adorable loading page, let's have a little look at this one. Just an exhaust line on the ground. Well, the exhaust is nice and low. We'll give it that. Let's just not look at that part. I don't like the wheels, I'll be honest. The wheels are kind of horrible. Now, what does this sound like revving up? It's grippy. It's a lot faster. But I mean, look at its bolty. Will it do donuts? No, but it'll drive around in a circle really good. Well, that's exciting. Does a little bit of a wheel spin, not a very good one though. Neither of these cars are very good at wheel spinning. This one's just way too grippy. Oh, almost crashed. Yeah, it's grippy and sluggish to pull away. And we crashed it. Alright, well, I'm going to leave this live stream here for now, guys. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed it, feel free to hit that like button. And if you're new around here, hit that subscribe button, see if we can get a little bit closer to that sub goal as well. And if you have just come along and you've missed some of this, you can head over to my YouTube channel, where all my live streams are archived for your viewing pleasure. But yeah, I definitely had fun doing this, and at the end of it we got two really awesome looking cars that are both really underpowered. But thanks to everyone who's come along, and I will be back later on today with a live stream of Shamrock Valley for Farm Simulator, so hopefully I'll see some of you guys there. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will be back in a few hours. But bye for now.